Weird Realities Network presents Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales, where we pull up a log, roast a marshmallow, and settle in as these two blondes talk spooky tales, urban legends, and classic horror icons. Exciting guests, perky blondes, and sinister tales makes this podcast as good as a double stack s'more. So let's join Bethany and Crystal as they gather around the campfire in Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales.
Hi! Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. I am Bethany. We have got Crystal, and Ricky is actually going to be working tonight, so he's not going to be able to hop on. And we are just hanging out, and we're hopefully going to be joined soon by author Caitlin Moss. So we're just working through all the details on that. But in the meantime, I don't know. How was your week so far, Crystal?
I mean, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
And yeah. But
well, I mean, I guess we're in October now. So
I know. Yay, October. It's my favorite. I love October.
Yep.
October's definitely my favorite. I had to work this weekend, so my last day off was last Sunday.
Ooh.
So I'm really looking forward to next weekend. Hi, Stacy.
I feel like neither one of us can talk all of a sudden. We were talking just fine before the podcast started, and now we're like live and we can't talk.
Yeah, you turned on the show, and we both forgot how to talk. Maybe it's a good thing Caitlin's a little bit late.
Right. Let's get our act together here quickly. Woosa.
Woosa.
So you did something recently that was kind of fun. You went on like a tour, and what I remember about the tour was that people can impound cows. What tour were you on where you learned about that?
So we did. So my friends and I did a tour with the local branch of Good Time Girls. If you're familiar with that tour company at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I don't know how widespread they are, but I know when I was in Alaska, I did a tour with them as well. It was up in Alaska. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was like brothels and ghosts or something.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was up in Alaska. That was a lot of fun. And then, so the one we did here is called Gore and Lore. So we went downtown, learned about some like grisly murders in town. We learned about a farm, a local farm where, kind of local, where a serial killer lived there. But now the farm's exact location is a mystery, because they don't want people going there. I would be people.
I would be people.
I would be people if I knew exactly where the farm was located.
No crystals allowed.
Yeah, no crystals allowed. Can't let her know where it is. And then, so it's no longer the city hall. It's now a museum. But we were outside the original city hall, and it used to have a corral behind it because they made a law that cows were not allowed to wander the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would, so if a cow was wandering the streets, they would impound them in the corral behind City Hall. And the first person whose cows were impounded because they were wandering the streets when they weren't supposed to be was the mayor.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mayor's like, well, that sucks.
Yeah. And, found out that just like any good Western town, the main industries when the town first started was logging, fishing, and whoring.
I mean, most Western towns are kind of like that when they started out. Not anything on any of those professions.
Yeah. So, ghost cows.
Nice. They're all moo.
Moo.
Oh my gosh. Someone's like, why do I suddenly got the sense of a cheeseburger around here?
Just all of a sudden. I really want a milkshake.
Right? Really go for some steak right about now. Oh my gosh. Well, that sounds like a pretty fun thing to go do.
Yeah, and I know that they do a couple other local tours. They usually do deal with kind of the dark side of history. Like, they did talk a little bit about ghosts. This wasn't like a ghost-centered tour, but they did talk about some hauntings. They do have tours that center around ghosts, like the one I did in Alaska. Like I said, it was, ghosts and prostitutes were the theme on that one. And then, but yeah, it's usually like kind of ghosts and like the more like dark, spooky side of history. Yeah. And they're usually in some sort of period costume. So
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Nice. So I like how randomly you'll just send us videos. Like I won't even know that you're going to go do something, and then you'll send me like a picture and you're like, here's a parking lot where this serial killer actually kidnapped somebody. And I'm like, where are you? Like, what got you to do that?
Oh, I was going to a team lunch that day. That wasn't a tour. No, that was okay. So that was Stacy, I don't know if they're all over the place. I know that they're here in Washington and I know they're in Alaska. They're called the Good Time Girls. I would definitely recommend looking to see if they are in your area. I don't know. I think it's fun to be a tourist in your hometown because you learn things that you don't ever know.
Yeah.
Not that this is my hometown, but definitely learning things that I didn't know, and it helps you get to know where you live better, which is fun. So yeah, Good Time Girls. I'm definitely doing a shout out for them. But
about your team lunch.
Yeah, so we had a team lunch in Seattle, and I was going there with one of my teammates, and we ended up coming to this low bridge that our big van couldn't go underneath. So we had to like back up and go to this little side parking lot. The place we were eating at was waterfront, and we had to walk along the beach for a while. One of our teammates eventually came because we ended up parking a little bit over a mile away. So walkable distance, but we were like, by the time we get there, everybody's going to be done eating. Mm-hmm. So one of our teammates came and picked us up, and we were like, yeah, this is where we're parked. And he's like, oh yeah, Ted Bundy kidnapped somebody from that parking lot. And it was like, oh, and it was like a pretty abandoned parking lot because it wasn't right at the beach. It was a little ways away. You had to go through a tunnel and up some stairs, and there was a trailhead there at the parking lot. But I was just like, okay,
pretty good place to kidnap someone then.
Yeah, Ted Bundy thought so.
Oh my goodness, that just makes you think. Like with certain serial killers, they all have their different techniques and everything. Kidnap someone, or if they're going to if it's just spur of the moment, but they're all different, I guess.
Yeah. No, they are. They do like Washington and the Pacific Northwest though, as well.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about serial killers, I'll share this guy. I was watching this guy on TikTok, and I'll do a shout out of his name too as soon as I pull it up here. But he's like, he goes, someone told me I look like a serial killer, and he's like, do I look like a serial killer? And I'll see if I can get the camera to show. So that's what he looks like.
I mean, in that picture, yeah.
Yeah, but
that picture is very aggressive.
Well, he was like I took a screenshot of him talking. His name is Ryan Alexander Lawson, but the comments on this TikTok.
Not you just releasing all his personal information to all our viewers.
No, on the TikTok, his.
Okay.
1,000 comments. Yeah, so I think everybody knows. Stacy, yeah, people are like, it's the eyes. But let me pull up his TikTok because the comments are what get me. I had it saved too because I was just showing someone here. Okay, so some of the comments are like, it's the eyes. Someone goes, it's everything. It's everything, Ryan.
It's everything.
And then someone goes, I'm so sorry. It's reminding me a lot of this. And it's Jack from The Shining. And then other people are like, have you tried blinking?
Have you tried blinking?
Yeah. And then I think my favorite, they were like, they go, I can't pick out a single thing in this video that is not contributing.
Everything.
Text After Midnight says he's actually a sweet guy if you get to know him.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. No, it's because most serial killers are clean-cut looking white guys.
Yeah.
That there's just something a little bit off about them, but you don't know what it is.
It's always the quiet guy.
Yeah.
Stranger Danger was a really bad advertisement for kids our age.
I mean, Stranger Danger, I do feel like Stranger Danger came about when we were kids because the 70s were full of people hitchhiking and getting murdered by serial killers.
Well, I meant like they always put the picture of the guy in the trench coat looking all shady and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But so you made you, as a kid, like you would look out for someone like that and you wouldn't pay attention to like the creepy neighbor or something.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like, I remember I saw, a post that somebody said, and, it's like, we were always taught about stranger danger and don't go to like, if somebody's offering you candy, don't do it. And then this lady's like, I was at the park and this lady was walking her dog and the dog was really cute and I was petting the dog. And then she was like, oh, her puppies are in my car. Do you want to go see? And I followed her to her car. And she's like, she's like, Ted Bundy would have killed me. And I'm like, I would have done the same thing if it was puppies. Yeah. Like nobody warned me about puppies.
I saw this other video of this man. He's like, I just did everything you're not supposed to do. He was like, I took candy from a stranger. He was like, they offered me some tacos. We went and got tacos together. Stacy, it's just like an electrolyte drink.
It looks kind of like mouthwash.
No, it's just, it's blue.
No, I believe you.
Yeah,
it's just
I'm not going to drink mouthwash.
I'm just saying, it looks enough like mouthwash that you could that if it was alcohol, you could replace it in the mouthwash container and sneak it onto a cruise.
Ooh, I saw this one lady. She went to the gym and she would have fun filling up she would take a Hershey's chocolate bottle and empty it out and clean it out and put water in it. And she'd just like chug it at the gym.
Make people think you're drinking something completely weird.
I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah. I don't actually recommend doing that so-called hack on a cruise, by the way. Yeah. Just want to make sure. Just people always are like, oh, you can do that. And I'm like, yeah, I have a friend that did that. And on the first day of the cruise, he got cut off and wasn't allowed to drink anymore.
Oh, God.
I don't think that was the entire reason, but I think that contributed to it.
I think cruises are really starting to crack down on stuff because all the like social media coming out about like, especially Carnival, they've like really gotten pretty strict on some of their rules and stuff lately. And I think a lot of it's the drink package and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy,
I mean, it is what it is. It's like, if you have, like, you can't share stuff like that on social media because if you want it to be a true hack and a true secret way to do things, it actually has to be a secret. Putting it on social media makes it not a secret anymore.
Well, that's what they're finding out is happening with a lot of like the social media videos where people are sharing cool little things about their hometowns or their cities or countries or something. And it's like little hole in the wall, beautiful places to go visit. But because that video blows up, it now becomes just so overflooded with tourists that some places are actually shutting down and won't let people visit anymore. And then the locals are like, well, thanks for ruining it. But it's like, well, you shared it.
Yeah. I saw somebody posted on, I think it might have been on TikTok, about a local like hidden waterfall that's really close to a very well-known popular waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, and I was like, this looks really cool. They're like, it's a waterfall. It's a swimming hole. I mean, it's a little bit too cold to be going swimming now, but I was just like, oh, this looks really cool. I was like, oh, but it's probably going to blow up and there's going to be a lot of people going to there now. But then somebody commented and they're like talking about how you have to get down there. They're like, you have to go underneath a fence. You have to do this. You have to do that. And I'm like, oh, a lot of people aren't going to be willing to do that. So
well, why are you having to go under the fence? That tells me you're probably not supposed to be there.
I mean, supposedly it's public. I don't know. I'm like, maybe that person commented that to like try to get people discouraged from going there.
Mm-hmm.
So
same thing with speakeasies. Londa finally joined. Broken
Hi,
water
Londa.
here.
I mean,
Aw,
it's
man.
okay. Our guest is late too.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just kind of.
So we're just kind of winging it right now. If you
Yeah.
have anything you want to talk about, like broken
I mean,
water.
we've already talked about serial killers. Now we're talking about TikTok videos and hidden places.
Yeah.
So,
Well, speakeasies. I love a good speakeasy, but it has to be
been to
hidden.
quite a few.
Yeah. There's a so-called speakeasy here locally, and I'm like, it can be speakeasy themed. I'm like, I just feel like it's more 1920s themed. I'm like, this bar is in the middle of a hotel lobby. There's nothing hidden about it.
Yeah, they're just that's not a speakeasy.
I'm like, when I'm going to a speakeasy, I want to be like having to make a call on a phone booth and giving a password to be let in, kind of thing, you know? Which I have been to one like that.
I think it'd be fun to go to like one that's like a library, and then you have to like pull the book down from the shelf, and it opens a secret door, and then you walk like up or down a staircase. And
that would be a lot of fun.
Londa's like, I got you guys. I guess there's one here in Tucson. Well, there's a few here in Tucson, but there's one that I just found out about up in Oro Valley, which anyone who knows Arizona, or Tucson, you don't really think of Oro Valley as the go-to bar scene.
Yeah, not at all.
But it's to go through like this back entrance, and it's hidden, and then it's inside. It's like a submarine theme, and I'm like, this is so like a whole underwater submarine speakeasy place. So I'm like, why wasn't this there when I lived in Oro Valley?
You're like, now I live so far away.
I know. So now whenever I go visit my parents, I'm like, okay, peace. I got to go hitch a ride on a submarine real quick.
I'm sure they have non-alcoholic drinks if your parents want to join you.
Yeah, they might have fun, actually.
Yeah.
See if they want to go.
Because I'm like, that's fun whether you're drinking or not. Like,
especially in the middle of the desert, and then you're like underwater. Right? You're like, what?
There was one speakeasy I was trying to find in Phoenix once. So there was one that I had been to a few times that like the entrance is in an alleyway. Mm-hmm. And I always missed the turn to go into the alleyway. Like, I mean, obviously I'm walking there, but I had to use GPS every single time. And then there was another one that was in an alleyway that my friends that I was meeting there didn't tell me a lot about how to find it. So I was using GPS and just driving in circles. And finally, I just parked somewhere because it kept being like, you've arrived. And I'm like, there's nothing here. Like, there were, I like, all that's here is an alleyway. And so finally, I parked and went down the alleyway and found it. But
yeah. Londa, you're absolutely correct. My parents will have fun anywhere they go.
What's the point?
Just be like, this is fun.
The point of life if you're not having fun?
I know. They'll be like, this is nice.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's a good thing about your parents. Like, they're like, well, we're here. We're going to make it fun.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's not fun,
they'll bring friends with me because I have that attitude as well.
Like, that's all. Yes, Londa.
It's like, oh, my car broke down, or oh, the interstate completely shut down. What can I do to make this fun right now? Because I'm going to be here for a while.
Oh, yeah. Anytime we had that, we always had the motorhome. So my mom would probably bake cookies or something, and we end up playing a game of hand and foot or cards. Right? We broke down somewhere.
Sometimes you have to make your own fun.
Exactly. But I don't know. We were talking about those, like visiting those spots and stuff. And I kind of like those videos where you see the Instagram picture and it's like all this beautiful, gorgeous thing. And then you see the reality of it. And you'll just see like all the people there, everyone trying to take photos, everyone in line to take photos, things like that. And I'm like, I kind of like those videos.
Yeah, where it's like, okay, so yes, it's this beautiful spot, but what can I expect to actually see and deal with when I'm going there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think a good one for that would be like Devil's Bridge in Sedona. Because you always see these pictures of people, they're on the bridge, and it's always just like them. And I mean, great photos, but I know people, they're like, yeah, I had to stand in line for an hour to get that photo. Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Are people in line? I think it's the Sistine Chapel, where they're in line to get the photo in the mirror, and the mirror slanted, so you can get the picture of them. And then
that's not the Sistine Chapel. You're not allowed to take photos. I'm not sure what chapel that is, but the Sistine Chapel, you're not allowed to take photos.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
if
it's
you're
one of
taking a
those.
photo, you have to sneak it. You're not standing in line to take one in the mirror.
Well, anyway, for
But,
this
yeah.
particular place, they had the mirror, and then you stand in line to take your picture in front of the mirror, and then it shows you, and then you got the whole roof of all the stuff. And one of those, like the reality of it, you had this whole long line of just people waiting like an hour, and then this one guy just like stands there, and his friend lays down on the floor and takes the picture, and then they walk off, and everyone in line's like.
I saw one where like somebody walked in with their own mirror to like, so it was still the mirror picture where he was still taking like a selfie in the mirror with the chapel up above him. And but I'm like, that's because I mean, okay, cool. But like, I don't know. I'm not the person that's going to stand in line for an hour just to take a photo. I'm going to find a different photo to take.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me. But that one is pretty funny. And I do think that is in Italy. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, one of those places where they have like, really beautiful things that haven't been destroyed yet.
Right? Yeah, but I do know that the Sistine Chapel you're not allowed to take photos inside of. Mm-hmm. But I also know people that have who will not be named because they maybe weren't supposed to. Well, they really weren't supposed to. There is no maybe.
Hey, we have Caitlin here.
Oh, yay! Hi, Caitlin!
Sorry, you guys, I had it in my calendar as 6:30, and so I was like cleaning the kitchen, all the things. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so late, and I'm so sorry. That's on me.
No, you're good. We had fun just chatting.
Like, we are the queen of tangents, so we've just been talking.
Good. Then I don't feel bad. I hope you had a wonderful conversation.
No, we talked about Pacific Northwest serial killers. We talked about ghost cows. We talked about waterfalls and Instagram. We talked about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Interesting.
I'm glad. Good.
So glad you were able to join us. I love the wallpaper behind you. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And my naked lady, her name is Anastasia.
Oh, nice. I love it. Absolutely love it. Thanks. So I haven't talked about you yet because I was just like, well, I'm not sure what's happening. So just so everybody knows, so Caitlin is an independent author that does live up here in the Pacific Northwest as well. I discovered her when I went to, it was a girls' night out at a local winery, and she had her booth set up, and I'm so glad you did. I'm obsessed. I'm so
Which
obsessed.
book did you get? Remind me.
I got A Summer Without You.
Okay.
And then I also got The Companion, A World Without You.
Okay.
So I've read both of these. And
thank you.
Just so everybody knows, the way that Caitlin recommended this to me was it's the anti-Christmas Hallmark movie. So it's the big town girl goes, meets a guy in the small town over Christmas, decides to stay, and 5 years later, everything goes wrong. This should be a movie. Maybe not on Hallmark, but it should be a movie.
So, do you want to know something? It was with a film production company for almost 2 years. It still technically is with them. But I unfortunately got the bad news over the summer that they just couldn't, because they have to create a script and they just couldn't get it to where they wanted it. And so they're like letting the contract expire. So it was like knife to the heart this summer. But I agree. I think it would make a wonderful movie. So maybe one day. It wasn't the right producer or whatever.
You know, I was going to say they might just need to shop the script around a bit or shop around for a script on it. So
yeah,
it wasn't the right place for you at the time.
Yeah.
I think it should find. I'm going to put all the energy out there that it finds its place because it should totally be a movie.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Extras in the background. Crystal and I are available for hire.
Excellent. Okay.
I'll be a haunted cow if you want me to be.
And Caitlin, why don't you tell us a little bit about, like, just for people who aren't familiar with you, kind of your writing style, what you like to write, just kind of introduce us to you a little bit.
Sure. So one of my very loyal readers, I think, described me in the best way. My books are what she calls rom-troms. And I think that's a great way to describe them because they are romances. And they lean romantic comedy in some portions, but then they also lean kind of traumatic. Like there's usually some kind of gut punch or emotional twist that is going to hit you. I think that's kind of a reflection of my personality as I use humor as a coping mechanism. And so you get both sides. You get deeply emotional, and then you also get funny. And sometimes it's easier to laugh than cry. Sometimes it's good to do both. So I've been writing my whole life, but I've been publishing since 2021. I had a few manuscripts that were either unfinished or just my dirty little secrets that I kind of like kept on my computer. And then the pandemic, when lockdown hit, I really was like, okay, the world is ending. So I need to publish a book before I die, before we all die. Like, that kind of panic set in, and it lit this fire under me. And I was like, well, I'm going to go for it. And I tried to be traditionally published. It didn't work out for my first book. And I just kind of was like, well, my mom's friends will read it. And when I published my first book, it sold, I think, in 8 different countries within the first month. And I was like, well, okay, this is resonating with women. And so I kind of just kept going. My earlier books, they lean more women's fiction, but now I'm definitely more in the romance category. But yeah, if you want to laugh and you want to cry, then I would say, and you want to love, I would say my books are for you.
It sounds kind of like a cozy romance novel
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I would say so. Like
if you just want to sit in a cafe or by a fire and just drink something and have something take you away from life for a little bit. So it sounds like a perfect book for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I definitely think the like trauma thing is there a little bit. Like I'm not a crier, but both of the books I've read by you so far had me really close to tears in a couple of spots. But
also
like
that little ice right here around your neck where you feel your neck get a little bit tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's when I say trauma, like rom-trom, when I say like trauma or traumatic, it's not over the top, I think that's why it gets people, is that it's usually kind of something emotional that's also relatable. And I think that's why it kind of hits home with people, is because they're like, this could happen to me. And so you can kind of empathize with the main character.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Pizza's always a good idea.
Yes.
I think that's never a bad idea.
I know.
So how many books do you have out now?
11.
Nice. And you started in 2021?
Yep. So it's about 2 books a year. Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of my publishing schedule. Yep.
Yeah, that's what we just talked about. It's kind of the anti-Hallmark.
Yes. Yes.
The anti-Hallmark, which is good for somebody like
Hallmark
me.
with a twist. Yeah.
Hallmark with a twist. There you go. Yeah. It's like Hallmark meets sci-fi. Because
I know my mom said, she's like, I don't know, because sometimes there is a little bit of a scandal, so maybe your Lifetime, not Hallmark. And I was like, oh gosh, yeah, probably.
I think Lifetime. I definitely think it's more Lifetime than Hallmark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Now, from what I understand, you tend to have a little bit of a supernatural element to some of your books, right?
Yeah, and I kind of stumbled upon doing that by accident. A World Without You was my first time kind of dabbling in that magical realism. And so it's told with a parallel universe. So you see her in the beginning where she is getting a divorce from this small town boy that she sacrificed her entire life in Seattle for. And she's regretting everything. And she's like, I wish I never broke up with my ex-boyfriend that I was dating. I wish I never quit my job. She's just overcome with regret. And so she, in a parallel universe, wakes up and she's with her ex-boyfriend in the skyrise apartment. And so you get to see what her life would have been like had she never married Graham from Roslyn, Washington. And so that was really fun to dive into. I think for me, it just, as a human being, I am a what if person. I am a worst case scenario person. I am I'm thinking of all the different outcomes of every decision. And so that was my first time dabbling in that. A Summer Without You also has a parallel universe. And then Goodbye Again actually has a fortune teller that they meet by chance on an airplane and go see a fortune teller just for fun. They think like just to be silly. And the fortune teller basically says they're going to know each other and fall in love with each other for the rest of their lives. And they're like, whatever, we met 7 hours ago. You're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of opens up this kind of like she has a very close relationship with her grandmother. And so it opens up this dream world where she gets to talk to her grandmother and her grandmother gets to give her advice through her dreams as she's like going through this journey. My dogs are about to start barking. Hey boys, hey, no. Sorry, I have 2 golden doodles and they get the zoomies after dinner. And can you just call them, get them a treat or something? Thank you.
It's not unusual.
Sorry, this is my real life. I live here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Crystal normally has Olive, and I normally have Sherlock or Indy.
I know, but
yeah, our animals like to make appearances as well.
But it always cracks me up because I'm like, all my kids are home. They could go anywhere, but they're like, Mom's on a call. We better go wrestle in her office. So. Oh my goodness. But then. And then, a question.
Yeah.
Is writing my full-time job? Kind of, yes. I feel like I actually have 2 full-time jobs. I have a social media job and writing. I think, and I work from home, so I can kind of make my own schedule. So that really helps. All of my kids are in school all day, so that also helps. And then I was kind of ahead of schedule. Like I had 2 manuscripts ready when I started publishing. So it kind of like, that's how I'm able to publish 2 a year.
Yeah.
But I also like don't put a lot of pressure on myself. Like if I feel like I'm not going to publish 2 for the year, it's like, it's okay because I will only publish when I feel like the story is actually ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. Do you, are you like a pantser writer or do you have like an outline?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. Let's start tasting them. Okay. Here, bring me that toy. Bring it to me, Augie. What is it? Okay. Just stop playing with them and they will stop playing around. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is fine at all times. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Are you like do you outline? Or are you more of like a pantser writer?
So I definitely would consider myself more of a pantser. The character kind of just introduces themselves in my head and I just kind of start going. So it's usually just a scene that plays out in my head and I'll write it down. And if that character has more to say, then it'll just keep going. But I do reach a point in my manuscript where I have to start writing things down just to make sure. Mm-hmm. Let me just grab this toy from the dogs. Hold on. I'm right. No.
I wonder, Crystal, is she our first female author we've had on?
This is what they're fighting over.
Yeah, I think so. Oh my gosh, it's a chicken.
My gosh. I'm sorry. I'm hiding their toy. They're going to be so sad, but they will spread. Here, you can get up here and say hello. Come on.
Well, we had with I can't think of their names right now. I feel so bad. The steampunk authors that was a female author. It was a duo.
Yeah,
we just think you're our first solo female author on the show.
Yeah, I'm honored. I'm sorry it's so chaotic, but
no, actually, like this female energy is so nice right now.
I do. I'm for the girls. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, normally my brother Ricky is another host who's on, but he had to work tonight, so he's not on at the moment. But yeah, like this is just kind of fun just being the girls tonight. We're like, this is awesome. Even everyone commenting is the girls, except for my dad, but like, he's part of it.
I love it.
So you were talking about outlining versus pantser.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so then I get to the point where I do have to write things down. I do have to make sure I don't have plot holes. And I do have to make sure that there is a plot driving the story. I can't just, be all willy-nilly with the romance. I think what I have discovered about myself, though, is that I really do plot things out. I just plot so internally, and I haven't found a way to write it down except for just to write it. So it appears as if I am a pantser, but I'm probably technically more of a plotter. I just don't have the strict outline.
Yeah, I think most writers are kind of a little bit of both.
Mhm.
Like when I do it, I just sit down and write. I'll have like a scene in mind, and I'll have like a general idea of where I want my people to go. But half the time they decide to go somewhere else. And that's the pantser part.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they found another toy. Hold on.
It's going to be the battle of the toys tonight.
It's okay. I got my little toy.
And strangely, Indy isn't hanging out in our sight.
Well, is this Indy or Sherlock? Oh, Indy's in here.
You guys are gonna be like, she's never allowed back.
No, I mean, usually Bethany's cat Indy is sitting in the corner of her screen, and he's
normally like right here, like just like staring.
Okay.
We're all about animal interruptions.
Yeah, it's
Like
totally
the
fine.
favorite part. My favorite part of my day job is when I get to meet and play with animals, and people are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, then they're in the way." I'm like, "No, they're not. They're exactly where they should be, where I can pet them."
Give me the animals.
Well, it cracks me up because, like, I have 3 kids. You would think I would be interrupted by children, but no, it's the furry ones that are constantly asking for my attention. So.
Now, do any of your kids kind of take after you in the writing field at all?
Do my kids?
Yeah, like are they into writing at all, or do they just?
Yeah. Well, my middle daughter was for the longest. She loved to write, and she is an excellent writer, but now she's more of a painter, and she's becoming quite the artist. Like, I'm really impressed. She's 13, and I'm probably going to hire her to start doing my covers because she's just so good. And then my son, he's not interested in either. Like, he'll write or draw here and there. But his teacher was like reading a short story he had to write for school and emailed me, and she was like, have you thought about trying to get him, like, published, or with like the little contest that you can do? And I was like, oh, is he taking after me? Like, it's kind of that proud moment. So it's fun, but I also think my kids are so like, my mom's a writer, it's not, I'm just mom. So it's, anytime they're complimented for anything similar to me, it's just not cool right now. And that's okay. Maybe
especially
one day.
at 13. At 13, you're like, my mom's not cool.
Yeah, and my son's 15. So I have a 15, 13, and 9-year-old. And my 13 and 15-year-old definitely don't think I'm very cool. My 9-year-old still does. So I'm holding on to that for as long as I can, because I probably only have like a couple more years, and then my coolness will expire again. So it's fine.
But it'll come back again.
Yeah. Yes.
Later on.
I hope so. Yeah.
And I know I saw an Instagram post you did the other day where you were talking about, you've already mentioned this one, Goodbye You. You said that one was one, because I know you mentioned that you did try to get traditionally published, and the publishers were like, no, nobody's going to like this. And that's like your highest rated one. Yeah. So it's definitely being added to my TBR.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, so You First is probably I think it's still my like reigning bestseller. And then Goodbye Again is a close second, but it is like my most loved book. Like, it has the highest rating, and it's a right person, wrong time romance with the fortune teller in it and the grandmother. And, but because it's right person, wrong time, you get to see their journey where they're not always with each other, and sometimes they're with other people. And so agents and publishers were like, readers will hate that. Nobody wants to see them with other people. But apparently they do. Like, people.
I mean, that's very relatable.
Well, think of when Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was like love that movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a fun one for sure.
And I feel like that happens a little bit in a world, like not necessarily that she's with the wrong person in a world without you, but there is some like confusion about who is the person for her. And it's just like it is a relatable thing. Like it's not the like super almost becoming, I mean, it pretty much has become a trope, like especially with YA things where it's this whole love triangle. It's not that, but it's just like the confusion of like trying to figure out your life and what do you want. And like I just I think
it's like, are you ready to be with the person you're supposed to be with at that point in time?
Yeah,
exactly. And also and how like certain relationships are important to like guide you to the right person, and that like not every relationship that doesn't work out is, you know, a flop or didn't mean anything. Like they can all mean something even if it doesn't work out. So I think
help you figure out what it is that you want in a partner and how and like lead you to that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
So Stacy is asking, how did you end up finding a publicist?
I do not have a publicist. So I am a one-woman show. I mean, I have an editor. I have a few editors that I go through, and I've worked with cover designers for the most part, except for 2 of my covers. I've done them all. But yeah, it's just I'm self-published. It's all me. I'm the publicist.
Did you start through like Amazon Kindle and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, and Ingram. So you just purchase your ISBNs, and it's a whole process, and it's a learning curve. And and it's definitely like not one of my better traits, but I'm very much just dive in head first and figure it out, instead of like planning things out. And it has worked out for me, but I definitely am like, dang, I probably should have researched that a little bit more before I hit publish, but here we are. So,
well, I mean, you're doing something right. So
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to.
You know, I think, I mean, not that I'm a writer, but the way that independent authors have been able to publish themselves, and say what you will about Amazon, like there's both good and bad. Like I think Amazon's helped that out a lot. It just really gets a lot out there that wouldn't have been out there through traditional publishing, and it provides more of a span for you. And I just think that's great, because I mean, some of the like independent authors are so good. Like you're very quickly becoming one of my favorites after 2 books. So I'm just like as I mean, I was already excited to have you on the show, but as I was reading your books, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to her about
You're
them.
like, oh, I'm so glad that our books don't suck.
You know, and it's like through traditional publishing routes, we might not be getting some of these amazing authors like you that are out there. And so, and then it does take some additional work on the marketing side for you, because you know you're out there at events like the girls' night out at wineries, but hopefully that was a really good and productive weekend. Well, day, it was just a day thing. Yeah, I hope that was a good day for you.
Yes, it was. So Bertelston actually, that specific winery, for those that don't know, is Bertelston Winery. They, I met through the owner's sister-in-law at a different event, and they kind of invited me up, and now I try to come to every like ladies' night that they do. And it's just always a really fun time. And I even mentioned their wine, In a World Without You, like just really brief little shout out to them. And so it's always fun to like add in real local brands and businesses from the area too. So I do that often, and I don't tell my friends. I just like wait for them to like find it. Like for example, I have a friend that's a gluten-free baker and a friend that makes salsa, and I put both of them in my latest release, Mourner for Hire, and that one, and they didn't know until they found, like they were reading it and they like are texting me, oh my gosh, you put my salsa in here, and I'm like, of course. Like it's just fun to add in little tidbits of people that I love in books. So
Yeah, and I know with A Summer Without You, you mentioned that it was fake places, but based on real places in Roslyn, which is just a small town
Mhm.
in Washington. I haven't been there,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I'm like, but this book made me want to go there and check it out. And you're just like, well, yeah, like these are fake, but there's this real place that it's based off of, and you
Mhm.
can go there. Like, I can't remember what type of. It might have been a bakery or something that had like a speakeasy in the basement.
Uh-huh.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's called Base Camp, Books and Bites, I think. And it's like a cute little like coffee shop bookstore. And there's like a speakeasy underneath. Very like unexpected, like especially for like such a small town. I kid you not. It's like a block. Like it's a very little downtown area, but it's so cute. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
I'm like, I need to take a day trip up there before the pass closes for the winter because I totally want
Right.
to check it out based off of reading the book.
Yeah.
Wait, you
You
have like a
should.
whole pass that closes?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, like the
Oh,
Snoqualmie Pass. I mean, it's not permanently closed for the winter, but it's not like fun to drive. Like you have to like
gotcha.
check
Like
the
have
pass
like
to like, do you need
the snow
chains?
tires.
Do you
Okay,
need- yeah, all of
gotcha.
that.
For me, it's closed because I can't drive in snow.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, where are you coming from? No, I don't love it, but I went to school at Washington State University, which is Eastern Washington.
Mhm.
And so 18 years old, I had to learn to drive that pass if I wanted to come home for Christmas.
Oh
So,
man.
yeah, but it can be scary for sure.
Well, Stacy is asking, are your books independent or a series?
So they're all independent. There are a few that are like of the same universe or interconnected, but they can all be read as standalones. So A Summer Without You and A World Without You, they go together. You could read them in either order, but technically A World Without You happens like 6 months before A Summer Without You, but there would be no spoilers.
Gotcha.
And then my first three books that are they're a little more women's fiction, The Cracks Between Us, Not Mine to Love, and Yours to Love. They are, again, technically all standalones, but they are kind of spin-offs from characters. So there's a character that from A Cracks Between Us that everyone hated or loved him, and so they wanted the rest of his story. So Not Mine to Love was born. And then Yours to Love is a different character's perspective of that same book, which was just a fun, I mean, it's a fun storytelling process. And I think it's fun for readers too, because the story really changes depending on who's telling the story. Even if they're like both telling the truth and trying to live their lives as honestly as they can, things and information is revealed in different ways. So kind of changes the perspective of the story. So it's fun.
So you can read them by themselves, but if you read them together, then you kind of pick up little Easter eggs. Kinda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's just like, again, like a true to life thing. Two people can experience the exact same thing and tell it to somebody else, and it'll be true what they're telling to somebody else, but it can still be completely different, even if they're both telling the truth.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think that's very realistic. And then, so you did kind of mention it. You do have your new one that just came out, Mourner for Hire. I haven't started reading it yet, but I'm very excited for it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that one?
Sure. So Mourner for Hire, it also kind of leans into that magical realism, except it's a paranormal aspect, but it's not paranormal like spooky, scary ghost. It's like funny, meddling ghosts. So that story it's about a woman named Beta, and she is hired to be a mourner at funerals. That is her full-time job. And when she is on the way to what is called a pre-death meeting, where she meets with the person that is going to hire her to attend their funeral, she gets stuck in a traffic jam. And so she pulls off the side of the road to this bar to go to the bathroom, get something to eat, and runs into the bartender, quite literally. And they chat it up. They have a really fun night. She ends up staying the night. It's like an almost one night stand. And then she kind of ghosts him. She just the next morning, she's like, I got to go to work. I can't believe I stayed the night with you. And then a year later, she is at a funeral that she is hired for, and it is his mother's funeral. And he is pissed. He is so not happy to see her. He thinks she's a con artist, all the things. And then when she's trying to back out of the whole thing that she agreed to do, his mother's ghost shows up and haunts her. I know it sounds outlandish and crazy, and it was so fun to write them because he is mean. Like, he is grieving. He hates her. Like, it is a true enemy, like contemporary enemies to lovers, where he really does not like her. And she gets to the point where she don't like him either, because she's like, I'm sorry you're sad, but you don't get to talk to me this way. But there's that underlying initial attraction that they had before he thought that she was a con artist and before he believed that she had the worst intentions. So it's fun because then you get to just see their journey of hating each other, but really not. And so and a ghost. And the ghost, you know.
And a ghost. And then ghost. Okay. I can't help but see that her name is Veda, and in My Girl, her name was Veda, and she grew up in a funeral home, and this one is also tied to death.
Yes.
And
yes. So, and I have always loved the name Veda. Of course, like I was traumatized in the 90s by that movie, like most of us were. Yep. And I've just always loved that name. And I thought it was just so perfect to put her or to use it in this book. And it's funny too, because like she's not a funeral director. She doesn't plan funerals. She just goes, and she does everything from starting rumors about people to just sobbing hysterically, pretending to be like a long lost child. Like, and you get to see all these funerals throughout the book too. So it's kind of, it's just funny to like see what different people might ask someone after they die. And so, so she's not a funeral director, but yes, very much tied to funerals and death. And and it's one of those books that is going to make you laugh because it is ridiculous, and they are funny, and they are so mean and immature in moments that you can't help but laugh. And then there's also just this whole underlying, I don't want to give it away, but there's this underlying thing that's happening with her. And it just kind of goes deeper, and it kind of just twists that knife in your gut a little bit, and it's just makes it more meaningful.
Nice. Well, Stacy asks, I think you have a new reader with Stacy here, because she is all
great.
She goes, do you go deep into research, or is your approach more write what you know, or a mix of both?
A mix of both. So one thing I will say with this funeral book, I initially, when I first wrote the first draft, I did it off of funerals that I've been to. And I've been to quite a few. When I was listing them out, I had a meeting with an author coach, and she was like, how many funerals have you been to? And I started listing them. She was like, okay, you've been to a lot of funerals. So I kind of, that's how it starts. So a lot of the setting and things like that. Of course, there's always stuff you have to look up and just kind of double check different, aspects of how do wills work, because there's a whole like will in there. And so I actually got the idea from my parents' will. And then so I had to look that up to make sure I had the wording correct. And just different things have to be researched, definitely. And then in Goodbye Again, she's actually a therapist. And it isn't too much of a spoiler at all, but she, one of my best friends is a therapist. And so I can always like double check things with her. And so I texted her, I had this idea, and I was like, how inappropriate, or is it unethical for a therapist to sleep with their patient's uncle? And she texts me back in all caps, Caitlin, what is going on? And she's like, call me right now. Like, cause she was like, what? And I'm like, it's a book. And, she's like, okay. So then she went on and she was like, okay, so that's called a dual relationship. And she explains it. And so then that really helped me be able to explain it in my book. And yeah, so yes, it's a combination. I try not to research while I'm writing because I don't want to lose like the heart of the story.
Mhm.
Here they go again. Sorry.
They've got to get their zoomies out.
Yes, now their zoomies are back and it's fine.
Well,
Hey.
we're coming up on our 7:00 mark. Crystal, did you have any other questions you had for Caitlin? Or
I don't think so, but I do just want to say I really like the idea of like hiring somebody to be at your funeral and cause chaos. Like
Yes.
spreading rumors.
Yes, and you know
that's so
what
much
I
fun.
think I would have my mourner do if I hired someone. I think I would have them have access to my phone, and then after everyone left, they would text everyone and say thank you for coming from my phone.
I don't know,
That
Crystal,
would be amazing.
what would you have your mourner do, Crystal?
I think I would have my mourner. Oh my gosh, what would I have my mourner do? I would want them to cause some sort of chaos.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
maybe come up with a confetti cannon or something.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun.
And then hand out
And
shots.
then like put on like Whitney Houston really loud, and everyone has to dance,
Yeah,
make it a
make
party.
it a party.
That would be great. That's a great idea.
Confetti canyon and shots of tequila for everybody.
There
What
you
would
go.
your mourner do, Bethany?
Can I come to your funeral?
Yes, you can. You are invited. You can be my mourner.
Okay, I'll do it.
Party
I'll do
started.
it.
Oh my goodness. I would probably do, I think I posted on Facebook not too long ago. I would probably have like the two guys show up like all in black, like do the little like Godfather thing.
Yes.
Like, so sorry, boss, you know? And just
You were like a
Might be in
secret
mob.
gangster. Yes.
my
What
whole
was
family's like,
Secret Life?
but like not
Like-
too surprised.
Bethany had a whole separate family and everything.
We do stuff for the family.
Absolutely. I love that.
Oh my. Well, Caitlin, where can everyone find all your information? I did share your linked tree.
Yeah, so everything on my link tree will take you to my website, take you to all my social media. You can find all my books wherever books are sold. You can buy them. So if you have a local bookstore, they might not have it in stock, but you can always order through them to support small independent bookstores. And then, of course, you can find my books on Amazon as well. So.
And I know, because I checked Barnes and Noble, but they didn't have, my local Barnes and Noble didn't have it in stock, but they said that they're like, oh, we can order it for you, or you could order it off of the Barnes and Noble website as well.
I would say you should be able to get it online, through Barnes and Noble then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's just kind of one of the things with being an indie author is not a lot of bookstores like Barnes and Noble and stuff will have them in stock, but they are available. Just you have to order them, so you have to be a little patient. Sometimes you have to wait a couple days to read them, but I hope it's worth the wait.
I think most of your books. Well, I saw a lot of your books are available on Kindle, and then I did end up ordering mine from Amazon, and I got it the next day, the physical copy.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
So they were a little bit over eager about putting it in, so there's like a little bit of a bloop on it. But
I hate when they do that.
I've been smashing it down under heavy weights.
You know, like put a like frying pan on top of it.
Yeah.
Iron
I
it,
will
maybe.
make you flat.
Oh, sorry. I know. I wish. Sometimes I'll order a bunch like for events and stuff, and like half of them will be all like crumpled, and I'm like, okay, this isn't okay. People like their books to look a certain way. So, but sorry, it happens.
Well, thank you for joining us, Caitlin. It was really fun. Like I think this was like a girl slumber party night. You know, like it was just fun having all the girls.
Yes, I think you girls are wonderful, and I'm so sorry I'm late. I was late. I know you guys said it was fine, but that was very unprofessional. Of me.
We come up with things to talk about.
Well, definitely let us know if you have a new release coming out anytime soon, and we'll see about get you back on. Okay.
Absolutely, that would be so fun. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.
All right.
Bye.